You're live. You're on the air. Good morning, everybody. It's ADIKA. Grab your coffee, fix your wig, and get your life together. Today is another episode of Haunted Hangouts on Coffee Talk, and that's all going to start right now. With Stefan and all his friends. Welcome, everybody. It is Coffee Talk with ADIKA, and today it is another episode of Haunted Locations. But before we go on any locations, and I take you with me, you got to do me one favor. Subscribe. That's right. Hit that bell to be notified when we come on, and share this with somebody you think that might enjoy this as much as you just did. Now, the chat below, it's a live chat right now. So please, please, please chat with us, talk with us, and let's all have a good time. And if you caught this late and not with the live chat, well, we're still watching and looking at you. So put your comments below. Sure love to hear your feedback.
It's the night before Halloween. 52-year-old widow Bertha Kludt and a 17-year-old daughter, Beverly, are in the house sleeping. Jake Bird enters the home through the back door, stealing $1.50 from Bertha's purse, claiming he was in the process of leaving the home until she discovered him and he discovered her. Scene of the crime. At 2:30 a.m. on Thursday, October 30th, 1947, Tacoma police officers Andrew Sabatis and Evan Davis were dispatched to 1007 South 21st Street to investigate reports of screams from the inside of the residence. As they approached, a barefoot man ran out of the back door into the backyard. Jumping over a picket fence, the two patrolmen ran after. After scaling several more backyard fences, the fugitive was finally stopped by a high fence and cornered in an alley behind 2122 South J Street. This is where the suspect pulled out a jackknife, then attacked the officers, cutting Davis's hand, stabbing Sabatis in the shoulder. Officer Sabatis, a former prize fighter, kicked him in the groin and knocked him to the ground. At that point, after the fight, the prisoner was taken to the Tacoma General Hospital by Officer John Hickey in a patrol wagon, where he received treatment for his head and face.
So Jake Bird, these are the streets where he walked. This is the home he broke into, took off his shoes, startled the mom in the kitchen. The daughter came downstairs, and he murdered both of them. This place stayed vacant for over 70 years. Nobody ever bought it. Nobody even rented it. They tried to sell it. They tried to repaint it. Nobody was interested. Not even the squatters. Some say it's still haunted. Still strange how the daughter's bedroom window is not covered, but all the other windows are. So, in the meantime, the officers went to investigate in the house what just happened. It was a robbery that went wrong, according to the man who did the crime. His name was Jake Bird. He was 45 years old. In the house, all he was doing was trying to steal a little money, get in and get out. Apparently, when he entered the house, he took his shoes off. He found a purse, took $1.50. Now, the lady, the owner of the home, her name was Bertha, and Bertha Kludt stopped him. She heard a noise at 2 a.m, stopped him in the kitchen. Supposedly from Jake, she attacked him. He had an axe in his hand. And what happened was he turned around and Beverly June Kludt was upstairs in the house. She heard the commotion. She came down to the kitchen.
The old city hall. This is the jail cell where they brought Bird after the murder. He was delivered in shackles right here. Now, Bird almost convinced the officers that he was innocent, but the fact that he still had brain matter spatted on his shirt, finally convinced the officers that they had their man. Bird eventually confessed to the killings, stating it was a burglary gone wrong. Bird's trial came a month later. It lasted 3 days. He was convicted of murder in the first degree and was sentenced to death by hanging. A double killing in a city was news, but actually would have been forgotten had Bird's story ended there. It didn't. It just only started.
So here we are outside of the City Hall building, 625. As you can see, the place is all boarded up.
The trial proceeded at a rapid pace and was concluded in just 1.5 days of testimony. Now, the state introduced a surprise witness, Tacoma Police Officer John Hickey, who testified that he and another officer gave Bird a beating while in their custody. The officer, Hickey, said, "I regret to say that I lost my temper after returning from the Kludt home and viewing the terribly hacked bodies of the 2 women. I had asked Bird as we sat in the patrol wagon why he murdered the 2 women. Bird replied he said he didn't do it. I asked him who did it. He said it was Leroy. Who's Leroy? I asked him. Another Negro around town, Bird replied. You're lying, I replied, and he looked at me with a smug look. I know I shouldn't have done it, but I hit him in the jaw with my fist, knocking him to the front of the patrol wagon. Then I struck him a number of times with my nightstick until he said, 'Don't kill me.' That brought me to my senses. We took him to the hospital where a nurse said he wasn't badly hurt." Closing arguments were begun on Wednesday morning, November 26, 1947, and the case went to the jury at noon. For only 35 minutes, the jury returned its verdict. Bird was found guilty of first-degree murder, and the jury voted to impose his death penalty. Bird, who had been impassive throughout the trial, sat unmoved. As the judge, Hodge, read the verdict, on his way back to Pierce County Jail, Bird asked the 5 deputy sheriffs guarding him, "What's all the excitement about?" The Jake Bird Hex. After Bird was sentenced to death and his request for a new trial was denied, the judge asked whether Bird would like to make a statement. Bird obliged and addressed the court for about 20 minutes, cursing them out, expressing frustration that he wasn't allowed to defend himself. He ended his speech with the following eerie message: "All of you who had anything to do with my case will be punished. I am putting the Jake Bird Hex on you. Mark my words, you all will die before I do." So the courtroom did not take Bird's threats seriously, but it wasn't long before court attendance mysteriously began to die. The judge who denied Bird the right to represent himself in court and issued Bird's death sentence was the first to go. Within a month of Bird's sentencing, Judge Edward D. Hodge died from a heart attack. Hodge's death was the first in a series of many who passed away shortly after Jake Bird cast his hex.
No, it's not open. That's the inside of it, but nobody's in there. I have to come back here another day. And that's a great looking building right there. Something about these buildings, the history, the surroundings.
While awaiting execution of sentence in early 1948, Bird started confessing to other murders in multiple states, which he had committed while working for the railroad. Eventually, Bird confessed to 44 murders, hinting that there were more. How many of the 44 murders Bird actually committed is unknown. But while working for the railroad and traveling, he had claimed victims in 11 states, from Washington to Florida, mostly women. And eventually, Bird was hanged on July 15th, 1949 for double murder in Washington, but not before a curse he had placed on the judge and the others that were involved in his prosecution. They would die before he did.
You know the memo. Let's get out of here, you crazy kids, and have a good day. God bless you all, and I love you. Boom!
It's coffee talk with the Tika. Nothing rhymes with that but chicken tikka. We name drop here with Stefan and all his friends.
Stop right there. Before you get out of here, please click over here, click over there, click there, and click over here for other great episodes like you just watched. And please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And also in the comments below, please give us your feedback. Love to hear from you. Alrighty, now get out of here, you crazy kids. See you later.